Every day, millions of barrels of oil travel across the oceans, from the deserts of the Middle East to the factories of Asia, to the cars and cities of the modern world. But behind every barrel of oil, there is another story. A story about money, a story about power, and a financial system that has shaped the global economy for more than 50 years. Because oil is not only traded for energy, it is traded through the world's most important currency, the United States dollar. This connection between oil and money created one of the most powerful financial systems in history, a system known as the petrodollar. To understand the power of the petrodollar, we must go back to a world that looked very different. Before the dollar became the center of global finance, countries struggled with a major problem. Money was unstable. Currencies rose and fell. International trade was difficult. And the memories of two devastating world wars were still fresh. By 1944, as World War II was coming to an end, representatives from 44 countries gathered in a small town in New Hampshire. Their mission was historic: to build a new financial system that could prevent another economic disaster. The meeting became known as the Bretton Woods Conference. And from that meeting, a new financial order was created. The agreement created a simple but powerful idea. The world's currencies would be connected to the US dollar, and the dollar itself would be connected to gold. 1 ounce of gold was fixed at $35. This gave the dollar something no other currency had: trust. After World War II, America controlled the largest economy in the world. Its factories were producing goods, its cities were expanding, and its gold reserves were enormous. Slowly, the dollar moved from being just another currency to becoming the foundation of global trade. Countries around the world began holding dollars as reserves. Banks began using dollars for international transactions. The United States had built the foundation of a financial empire. But the system had a hidden weakness. The world needed more dollars to grow, and America was responsible for providing them. During the 1960s, the United States began spending heavily. The Vietnam War, government programs, overseas commitments. More dollars flowed into the global economy. But something started changing. The amount of dollars circulating around the world became larger than America's gold reserves. Foreign governments began asking a difficult question. Could America really exchange all those dollars for gold? Confidence started weakening. The foundation of the financial system began to crack. And soon, the world would witness one of the biggest monetary decisions in modern history. August 15th, 1971. A date that changed the global financial system forever. On that evening, millions of Americans turned on their televisions to hear a message from President Richard Nixon. Behind the calm words of a presidential speech was a decision that would reshape money itself. The United States announced that the dollar would no longer be directly convertible into gold. For nearly 3 decades, the foundation of the global financial system had been built on a simple promise. The dollar could be exchanged for a fixed amount of gold. 1 ounce of gold was worth $35. But now, that promise was ending. The dollar was no longer tied to a physical asset stored inside America's gold reserves. The world had entered a completely new monetary era. A world where the value of money would depend on something different. Not gold, but confidence. Confidence in the strength of the American economy. Confidence in the stability of its institutions. and confidence that the United States would continue to play the central role in global finance. But Nixon's decision created a new and difficult question. If the dollar was no longer backed by gold, what would make countries around the world continue to use it? What would give the dollar its power? The answer would come from a resource that was becoming more valuable than gold itself: oil. In the early 1970s, another crisis was about to change the world. And this time, the weapon was not money. It was oil. For decades, oil had powered the industrial world. It fueled factories, transported goods, moved armies, and powered the growth of modern economies. But most of the world's oil production was concentrated in one region: the Middle East, a region whose importance was growing every year. Then, in October 1973, the world changed. Following rising tensions in the Middle East, Arab oil-producing countries announced an oil embargo against several nations. Oil supplies were restricted, and prices suddenly exploded. For countries that depended on cheap and reliable energy, the impact was immediate. Gas stations across America saw long lines of waiting cars. Factories faced rising costs. Governments struggled to respond. For the first time, many countries experienced the true power of oil. The crisis revealed something important. Energy was not just an economic resource. It was a strategic force. Oil could influence markets. It could affect governments. And it could reshape relationships between nations. The world had entered a new era. An era where control over energy meant control over influence. But the oil crisis also created a new challenge. After abandoning the gold standard, the United States needed a new foundation to support global demand for the dollar. And the answer would come from the most valuable resource on Earth. Oil, a historic partnership, was about to emerge. One that would connect the world's most important commodity with the world's most important currency. The petrodollar system was about to be born. The United States had solved one problem by ending the gold standard, but it had created another. Without gold, the dollar needed a new reason for the world to keep using it. At the same time, Saudi Arabia had become the world's most influential oil exporter. Its oil production gave it enormous economic and geopolitical influence. In 1974, the United States and Saudi Arabia began building a new economic partnership. The arrangement was straightforward, but its consequences would shape the global economy for decades. Saudi oil would be sold in US dollars. Countries that wanted to buy oil would first need dollars. As global energy demand grew, so did global demand for the US dollar. The petrodollar system had begun. It would become one of the foundations of the modern global financial system. The agreement was simple, but its impact reached every corner of the global economy. Any country that wanted to import oil first needed US dollars. That meant governments and businesses around the world had to hold dollars. The more the world consumed oil, the greater the global demand for the dollar became. Oil exporters accumulated enormous amounts of dollars. Instead of keeping those dollars idle, many invested them in US financial assets. That helped finance government borrowing and strengthened America's position in global finance. Over time, a powerful cycle was created. Oil generated dollars. Dollars returned to America. And the cycle repeated. It was a financial engine that helped shape the modern global economy. The petrodollar was more than a way to buy oil. It became one of the pillars supporting the international role of the US dollar. Every nation that imported oil needed access to dollars. Central banks around the world increased their dollar reserves. the dollar became the preferred currency for global trade, far beyond the energy market. This steady global demand increased the dollar's importance in international finance. It also contributed to deep and liquid U.S. financial markets. That made it easier for investors around the world to buy and sell dollar-denominated assets. Over the decades, the petrodollar became one part of a much larger financial system, a system that continues to influence global trade, finance, and energy to this day. For decades, the petrodollar system remained one of the strongest foundations of global finance. But no financial system remains unchanged forever. As the global economy evolved, new questions began to emerge. Could other currencies play a larger role in international trade? China, the world's largest energy importer, has worked to increase the international use of its currency. Some countries have explored using currencies other than the dollar for certain energy transactions. At the same time, renewable energy is slowly changing the world's relationship with oil. As energy systems change, the connection between oil and global finance may also evolve. But replacing a global financial system built over decades is not simple. The dollar remains deeply connected to global trade, finance, and investment. For more than half a century, the petrodollar system has connected two of the world's most important resources, energy and money. It helped transform the US dollar into the central currency of global trade. Every day, billions of dollars move through a system built around oil, finance, and international commerce. But history shows that no system remains exactly the same forever. The world is changing. Energy markets are evolving. New technologies are emerging, and countries are searching for new ways to participate in the global economy. The future of the petrodollar will not be decided by one event or one country. It will be shaped by a combination of factors: the strength of the American economy, the direction of global energy demand, the rise of new financial technologies, and the decisions made by nations around the world. But one thing remains clear: the relationship between oil and money has shaped the modern world in ways few people ever see. Behind every barrel of oil is a story about trade. Behind every currency movement is a story about power. And behind the global financial system is a history of decisions that continue to influence our lives today. The petrodollar is not just a story about oil. It is a story about how money moves, how nations compete, and how financial systems shape the world. This is the story behind capital,